So I just got done watching the latest episode of She-Hulk, which I believe is episode 5. So we're a little bit, we're at the halfway mark now. There's like 4 episodes left. There's 9 episodes in this season. And I didn't too much care for this episode at all. I actually think I'm done with the series now. I gave it more than a fair shot. I gave it 5 episodes. I was hoping each episode would get better, but to me, I feel like each episode has just kind of went down this horror, like really bad slope, in my opinion. Now, I'm fully aware that, it's very subjective. I know a lot of people who are loving this show, and for those, I'm like, hey, I'm glad that it targets you guys. I'm glad you guys like it. To me, it's just not something that I like. I don't want to watch an episode where a bad guy is marketing She-Hulk's name for makeup and She-Hulk has to press charges to try to get her name back. Like, I want a little bit more in my series rather than a 25 minute episode of, hey, we're going to battle for the copyright of the name She-Hulk. To me, that's not what I'm looking for. I am fully aware that they market this thing as a comedy. I am fully aware of that. So before anybody jumps in the comments like, well, this is a comedy, like I'm aware of that. But, comedy is subjective, film is subjective, and art is subjective. And with that being said, I gave it 5 episodes. It's not for me. I'm going to move on and look forward to whatever the next project is that Marvel is doing. Much like Thor Love and Thunder did not work for me. I feel like there are a couple things within that movie that is really good and it really stands out, and I want to see more of that. Much like that, I feel the same way for She-Hulk. There are things in She-Hulk that I'm like, I want to see more of this and more of that, but yet they continue to kind of just focus on this comedy aspect. And again, I am fully aware that this is a comedy series. I'm fully aware. That's the way they marketed. That's the way it was developed. It's a attorney at law comedy featuring She-Hulk. I'm fully aware of that. But at the same time, not everything is going to work for everybody. And I just figure like, I could probably be doing other things. So I'd rather not just waste my time with the next 4 episodes. Maybe that's a bad move. Maybe I stop watching and the next 4 episodes are like mind-blowingly awesome. And that very well could be a possibility. But here's also the great thing. Come to find out, if it is really good, I can always go back and rewatch them in the future. Just right now, I don't see the point of waiting week to week for a show, in my opinion, that has just kind of went downhill since the first episode and is not really picking itself back up. And I felt that way for the last couple Marvel Plus shows, the Marvel Disney Plus shows, rather. I felt that about Moon Knight. I felt that about Miss Marvel. I felt like, once it gets to the midpoint, it really kind of goes downhill, and then like the last 2 episodes start to pick up, but they never they never right the ship, in my opinion, right? The plane is going down, the ship is heading toward the iceberg, and they never kind of get to right the ship. Now, this is just my opinion and my thoughts on it. But I'm really looking forward to whatever Marvel comes out with next. I'm looking forward to stuff. I'm curious on what they're going to do. Right now, Marvel, in my opinion, is sort of have like this identity crisis to where they really don't know what they want to do at this particular point. It's like they're throwing their hat in so many different rings, and I don't think that they're staying true to what the Marvel properties were when they first established it in phase 1, phase 2, and rounding it out in phase 3. Right now they're trying to do too much, and I think that's the problem. I actually think they're trying to do too much, because before it was like 2-3 movies a year, sometimes 4 movies a year, and those are in production for a very long time and they're very well spaced out. Where now we're getting like, 2-3, I think we're getting like 3 movies a year, and now we're getting like 3 Disney Plus shows a year. So we constantly have like Marvel content coming out, and I feel like in this case, the quantity is hurting the quality, and I'd rather have the quality over the quantity. I'd rather go back to having, Marvel properties like once every 3 to 4 months that are really thought out. It's an hour long, or I'm sorry, 2.5 hour long movie or something like that, instead of having these shows where I feel like they're just kind of missing the mark on me as a viewer. Again, I preface this by saying this is just my opinion. I am clearly not speaking for all of you who are watching this video. Everybody has their own taste. Everybody has their own check mark list of what they want to see when it comes to this stuff. Just me personally, it kind of just didn't hit the mark, and I think I'd rather focus on other things rather than a show that I'm clearly not, liking as I'm watching it week to week. I think there are much better television shows, much better streaming series out there right now that I can focus on rather than watching something and be like, man, like it just, why am I watching this? And well, and the simple answer is, well, I'm not going to be watching it anymore. So that's just my thoughts on She-Hulk. Hopefully the next series is that much better, and hopefully they start to go up a little bit. But at this point, Marvel has kind of really let me down a lot, and I'm always gonna be here to see what they do next, and hopefully the next thing is better. But for right now, She-Hulk is definitely not for me. So that's all I got to say, guys. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Robert Storms. That's my opinion.